At this time, our first item tonight is a public hearing. We have two items on the public hearing. Item number one is ordinance number 2023-17. Mr. Stoltz.
Ordinance number 2023-17. It is hereby ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe an ordinance to amend the Fort Oglethorpe Code of Ordinances, Chapter 34, Environmental, Article 3, Nuisance, by the addition of Section 3484, Vegetation Control, to regulate the growth of vegetation on public and private property within the city, to provide for the provisions therein is authorized by state law, to provide for modification, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting ordinances or parts thereof, to provide for an adoption effective date, and for all other purposes allowed by law. Is there anyone here that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of this ordinance? Mayor, doesn't appear anyone's present.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Item number two under our public hearing tonight is for ordinance number 2023-18. Mr. Stoltz.
Ordinance number 2023-18. It is hereby ordained by the governing authority of the city of Fort Oglethorpe an ordinance to amend the code of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Chapter 50, Historic Preservation, Section 52 through Section 57, so as to incorporate the duties, powers, and responsibilities of the city of Fort Oglethorpe Historic Preservation Commission into the city of Fort Oglethorpe Planning Advisory Board, to amend the city of Fort Oglethorpe Code of Ordinances, Uniform Developmental Code, Appendix A, Chapter 8, Article 1, creation of an advisory board to reflect the incorporation of the powers and duties of the Historic Preservation Commission into the Planning Advisory Board, to increase the membership of the Planning Advisory Board with members who have demonstrated special interest, experience, or education in history, architecture, or the preservation of historic resources, to repeal conflicting ordinances, to establish an effective date, and for all other related purposes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of this ordinance? Mayor, doesn't appear anyone's present.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. At this time, we will call our regularly scheduled council meeting to order. Mr. Stoltz, if you would please call the roll.
Mayor Earl Gray.
Here.
Councilman Jim Childs.
Here.
Councilman Craig Crawford.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Derek Rogers.
Here.
Council Lady Rhonda James.
Here.
Council Lady Paula Stinnett.
Here.
Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Let the record show we do have a quorum for tonight's meeting. This time we'll do our invocation and our pledge. Ms. Stinnett, if you would, please do the invocation. Ms. James leads the pledge, please.
Let us, sir. Son, Holy Spirit. Lord, we gather here to do your will, Lord. Please bless this council to make the decisions that follow your rule, Lord. Lord, we ask that you be with all the students, parents, and teachers as we go back to school this year. And Lord, you know that we need all the help we can get. Place your hand upon our shoulders. Lord, be with those who serve. Provide and protect us that they may carry on and do your will every day in safety. We ask these things, Lord, in your name. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time we'll set the agenda for tonight's meeting. Ms. Hune, do you have any additions or modifications?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Hune. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as set.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Agenda is set. Next item on the agenda is the minutes from our previous council meeting. If members of council have had an opportunity to review the meetings from our July 10th council meeting, I will entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. James, a second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda is resolutions. Resolution number 2023-02. Mr. Stoltz.
Yes, sir. Resolution number 2023-02, resolution of the City of Fort Oglethorpe supporting Catoosa's joint participation in the Georgia Initiative for Community Housing 2023 cohort. Whereas the Georgia Initiative for Community Housing 2023 cohort is a 3-year program which consists of meetings, initiatives, retreats, and other programs designed to assist communities in addressing housing needs and developing housing plans. And whereas the communities desiring to participate in the GHIC program are required to submit an application and supporting documentation, including a resolution of support. And whereas there is no monetary cost to participate in the GHIC program, and participating communities are only required to commit the necessary resources for staff time, travel expenses of staff designated to participate as members of the community housing team. And whereas the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe finds Catoosa County's joint participation in the GHIC program would benefit the health and welfare of the citizens of Catoosa County, to submit a joint application for the county to be considered for participation in the GHIC program. And whereas Catoosa County's joint participation application would include designated housing team members from the city of Fort Oglethorpe and the city of Ringo. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe as follows. The mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe support the Catoosa County's joint application, including all necessary required supporting documentation to be submitted on behalf of Catoosa County to be considered as participant in the GHIC program. And further resolve, the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe hereby pledge its support for Catoosa County's participation in the GHIC program. So resolved this 24th day of July 2023. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. I have a motion to vote on resolution number
So moved,
2023-02.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Stenick, second by Mr. Childs. Any discussion? Mr. Childs.
Yes.
Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Ms. James.
Yes.
Ms. Stenick.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda is ordinances. Item number 1 under ordinances is the third and final reading of ordinance number 2023-17. Mr. Stoltz.
Ordinance number 2023-17. It is hereby ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe an ordinance to amend the Fort Oglethorpe Code of Ordinances, Chapter 34, Environmental, Article 3, Nuisance, by the attached addition of Section 3484, Vegetation Control, to regulate the growth of vegetation on public and private property within the city, to provide for the provisions therein as authorized by state law, to provide for modification, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting ordinances or parts thereof, to provide for an effective adoption effective date, and for all other purposes allowed by law. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. I have a motion to vote on ordinance number 2023-17.
Make a motion.
Second, sir.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Ms. Stenick. Any discussion? Mr. Childs.
Yes.
Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Ms. James.
Yes.
Ms. Stenick.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 2 is the third and final reading of ordinance number 2023-18. Mr. Stoltz.
Ordinance number 2023-18. It is hereby ordained by the governing authority for the city of Fort Oglethorpe an ordinance to amend the code of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Chapter 50, Historic Preservation, Section 52 through Section 57, so as to incorporate the duties, powers, and responsibilities of the city of Fort Oglethorpe Historic Preservation Commission into the city of Fort Oglethorpe Planning Advisory Board, to amend the City of Fort Oglethorpe Code of Ordinances, Uniform Developmental Code, Appendix A, Chapter 8, Article 1, creation of the advisory board to reflect the incorporation of the powers and duties of the Historic Preservation Commission into the Planning Advisory Board, to increase the membership of the Planning Advisory Board with members who have demonstrated special interest, experience, or education in history, architecture, or the preservation of historic resources, to repeal conflicting ordinances, to establish an effective date, and for all other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. I have a motion to vote on ordinance number 2023-18.
Yes.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Child, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 3, second and final reading of ordinance number 2023-19. Mr. Stoltz.
Ordinance number 2023-19, be it ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning amendment ordinance of tax parcel number 0011A045961 Max Smith Road, Rossville, Georgia, 30741, requested by owner J.A. Hunt Properties, LLC, so as to amend the zoning of said property from a RA zoning to a R5 zoning, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. I have a motion to vote on ordinance number 2023-19.
Yes.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 4, second and final reading of ordinance number 2023-20. Mr. Stoltz.
Ordinance number 2023-20, be it ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe for the annexation of tax parcel A zoning amendment ordinance for tax parcel 0011A045961 Max Smith Road, Fort Oglethorpe, Rossville, Georgia, 30741, requested by the owner J.A. Hunt Properties, LLC, so as to annex said property into the corporate limits of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to change the corporate limits of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. I have a motion to vote on ordinance number 2023-20.
Motion. Or second?
Second.
Okay, whichever.
Motion by Ms. James, second by Ms. Stinnett. Any discussion?
Fair enough.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 5, the second and final reading of ordinance number 2023-21. Mr. Stoltz.
Ordinance number 2023-21, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning amendment ordinance of tax parcel number 0013A01800A, Crutchfield subdivision, Lot 3, Battlefield Parkway, requested by the owner Daniel Sales, so as to amend the zoning of said property from a C1 zoning to a C2 zoning, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. I have a motion to vote on ordinance number 2023-21.
Make a motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Childs?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 6, second and final reading of ordinance number 2023-22. Mr. Stokes.
Ordinance number 2023-22, be it ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning amendment ordinance of tax parcel number 0003F0510003A132 and 0003A1332645 Lafayette Road, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, requested by the owner, First Baptist Church, so as to amend the zoning of said property from a C1 zoning to a C1 overlay district to appeal the official zone, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. I have a motion to vote on ordinance number 2023-22.
So moved, sir.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Stinnett, second by Mr. Child. Any discussion? Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett.
Yes.
Mr. Childs.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Ms. James.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 7, second and final reading of ordinance number 2023-23. Mr. Stokes.
Yes, Mayor, just to advise the mayor and council that I did have a request to remove this, withdraw it from consideration tonight.
That request is denied.
Ordinance number 2023-23, be it ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning amendment ordinance of tax parcel number 000-3B037, 22 Tally Circle, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia 30742, requested by the owner, Dolly Milligan, so as to amend the zoning of said property from an R2 zoning to a C2 zoning, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. I have a motion to vote on ordinance number 2023-23.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Ms. James. Any discussion? Hate to deny any request, but it's pretty obvious the people do not want this thing rezoned. And it has gone through all the proper channels like it's supposed to and like it was advertised. And this council will make a decision on that tonight. I don't get to vote, but I can make a recommendation. It's my recommendation that we deny this request. Any other discussion? Mr. Childs?
No.
Mr. Crawford?
No.
Ms. Stinnett?
No.
Ms. James?
No.
Mr. Rogers?
No.
Order number 2023-23 is denied unanimous. Next item is item number 8, second and final reading of ordinance number 2023-24. Mr. Stokes.
Yes, ordinance number 2023-24, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning amendment ordinance of tax parcel number 000-3B038, 24 Tally Circle, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia 30742, requested by the owners Mary L. Doss and Rebecca J. Swint, so as to amend the zoning of said property from a R2 zoning to a C2 zoning, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. I have a motion to vote on ordinance number 2023-24.
Make a motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion? Mr. Rogers?
No.
Mr. Crawford?
No.
Ms. Stinnett?
No.
Ms. James?
No.
Mr. Childs?
No.
Ordinance number 2023-24 for rezoning is denied by unanimous decision. Item number 9, Ordinance number 2023-25, the second reading. Mr. Stokes.
Ordinance number 2023-25, an ordinance to amend the 2023 fiscal year budget for the city of Fort Oglethorpe. It is hereby ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe an ordinance to amend the 2023 fiscal year budget to provide for the provisions therein as authorized by state law, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting ordinances or parts thereof, to provide for an adoption effective date, and for all other purposes allowed by law. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Final item, item number 10, is the first reading of ordinance number 2023-26. Mr. Stokes.
Yes, sir. Ordinance number 2023-26. It is hereby ordained by the governing authority of the city of Fort Oglethorpe an ordinance to amend the code of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Chapter 6, Alcohol, Article 2, Division 6, Package Sales of Distilled Alcoholic Beverages by adding a definition for construction in Section 6.135 and by providing a procedure for a hearing and the revocation of applicants' application under Section 6.143 to regulate the grant, refusal, suspension, or revocation of applications to sell or dispense packaged distilled alcoholic beverages in the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to provide for provisions therein as authorized by state law, to provide for modification, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting ordinances or parts thereof, to provide for an adoption effective date, and for all other purposes allowed by law. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Next item on the agenda is new business. Item number 1 under new business, recommendation to approve the First Amendment to the intergovernmental agreement between the Catoosa County Board of Elections and Registration and the City of Fort Oglethorpe. Ms. Stokes.
Yes, sir. This is an update to the election contract that we have with Catoosa County. It basically provides no relative change except that they have added additional things that additional elections that weren't covered in the earlier procedure and earlier amounts, and basically we would recommend adoption.
The state Senate bill also required some changes that had to take place.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second, sir.
Motion by Ms. James, second by Ms. Stennett. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 2, recommendation to renew the city's membership for the Northwest Georgia Regional Commission. Ms. Hune.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We are members of the Northwest Georgia Regional Commission. The organization provides a lot of resources and assessments to the city and to a lot of people in this area every year. They develop the Joint Comprehensive Plan for Catoosa County as well, and for Ringgold and Fort Oglethorpe. They act as a resource and in submitting grant applications, and recently we've been engaging them a lot more, and they were actually instrumental in us receiving a 3-year, $112,000 grant for our farmers market. The yearly fee is based on population, and if approved, this would renew our membership for their next fiscal year. So it's $10,537 coming out of the general fund.
They have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second, sir.
Motion by Ms. Childs, second by Ms. Stennett. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 3, recommendation to procure top dressing for the ball fields at Barnhart Circle. Ms. Hune.
I'm going to try to act like I know what I'm talking about when I talk about this item. Tony's back there, so just in case. Ball fields apparently need to be top dressed every year, which entails putting a lot of sand on top of them. Our fields have not been top dressed in several years, all those fields at Barnhart Circle. And it sort of helps manage the field and makes it playable, makes it safe for everybody, and makes it good to play on. Quotes were solicited from vendors by the Recreation and Leisure Services Department, and Athletic Turf Management submitted the lowest responsible quote in the amount of $13,650. This includes 8 loads of sand at 22 tons per load and all the equipment and labor. If approved, the work would be completed by August the 10th, which is prior to the start of fall ball season. And if approved, this would come out of SPLOST.
Thank you, Ms. Hune. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Rogers, second by Ms. Childs. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 4, recommendation to approve Georgia Environmental Protection Department sapling contract. Ms. Hume.
Every year, we have a contract with the Georgia EPD to do year-round sampling. This year, that amount comes to $7,260. The EPD must perform water sampling for the city throughout the year to ensure that we're in compliance with state and federal laws and regulations. If approved, that $7,260 will come out of the Water and Sewer Fund.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. I have a motion to approve.
So moved, sir.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Stinnett, second by Ms. Childs. Any discussion?
It was the same.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 5, recommendation to award a demolition service contract for city-owned property at 64 3rd Street. Ms. Hume.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a recommendation, as you said, to demolish and remove the remains of building at 64 3rd Street. The Public Works Department solicited quotes after the city purchased the property located at 64 3rd Street earlier this year in March. For the immediate future, if this is approved tonight, the property will be used for green space and for parking for events at things like Stable 41 and the ball fields. Quotes were solicited from contractors, and the lowest responsive quote was from Bobby Swanson Construction in the amount of $32,000, and if approved, it will be done in about 6 weeks from the time of the notice to proceed, coming out of the general fund.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Childs, second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 6, recommendation to award a contract for the construction of pickleball courts, the renovation of existing tennis courts, and the construction of additional parking at Gilbert Stevenson Park. Ms. Hume.
This one is a long time coming. In September of 2021, the city awarded to DH&W Architects a contract for the design of our pickleball courts, the renovation of 2 courts over there, the demolition of 2 existing courts, and the design for an expanded parking lot at Gilbert Stevenson Park. An invitation to bid was sent out this year after many design revisions and changes that I'm sure Jeff is happy to be done with. The city received 2 sealed responses on July 11th, and they were opened and reviewed thoroughly by our staff and by DH&W Architects. It's recommended that the project be awarded to the lowest responsible bidder, Tyson and Associates, who also completed the pickleball courts at Heritage High School. So not pickleball, they don't have pickleball there, I'm kidding, tennis courts. So kind of have a frame of reference. And if approved, the construction on the Michael L. Housley Court Complex will begin in September of 2023, and it is expected to be done on December 31st, 2023, exclusive of any weather delays, of course. The Public Works Department has overseen the engineering, design, and bidding of this project, but upon award, if awarded tonight, the construction phase of the project will transition over to the Recreation and Leisure Services Department with assistance from Public Works as needed. And if approved, that's $1,571,308 coming out of the general fund. This was a budgeted expense the last couple of years, and we've now finally gotten it bid.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. I have a motion to approve.
So moved, sir.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Stinnett, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion?
Does this include lighting as well?
Jeff? I believe there's lighting attached to it. That was part of the initial issue with it before.
must-go lighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's part of what took so long to get the initial design out, because we had to figure out how to get it into the honeycut track.
Yep.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 7, recommendation to approve contracts to install historic markers on Barnhart Circle and Lafayette Road. Ms. Hume.
Quite some time ago, the former Fort Oglethorpe Tourism Association had these really beautiful historic markers made to correspond with a walking tour in and around Barnhart Circle and Lafayette Road. Each marker has a lot of information about each of the unique locations in and around that area when the post was there. These historic markers are to be mounted along the city sidewalks for a walking tour that we hope will be of great interest to tourists and to our residents alike. Barnhart Circle was placed on the National Register of Historic Places by the Department of the Interior back in 1979, and so it's fitting to actually have some fixed markers there to honor that history. In order to have the walking tour ready for the fall season, the Public Works Department is going to solicit quotes for various contractors to bore and install these markers throughout the designated locations. The work will be completed by August 31st and will be overseen by the Public Works Department. If approved, that's about an estimated amount of $10,000 coming out of the general fund.
Mayor, if I may interrupt, this is a change in structure to Barnhart Circle, so as such, our charter requires that we vote to, in fact, do this. So your vote tonight on if you approve this would be also a vote to make a change to the Barnhart Circle property.
Can you make a note of that, Ms. Hune, and add it to the minutes?
Yes, I will.
Council,
Doing it right now.
Council understand what
Yeah.
Ms. Stokes
Yes.
is
Yes.
talking about? I have a motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion?
This pamphlet that we've got that kind of shows the markers and everything, that'll be available at the battlefield as well, right?
We have been talking with Mr. Ogden over there about having those in that place as well, and they seem amenable to that. There's some changes that have to take place to that program, but once we get those done, with the help of our consultant, we'll have them there.
Okay.
And they'll be at the Welcome Center at the
Yeah,
stadium
you
as
can
well.
put them at the Welcome Center on 75.
We put them anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
You can take them home and pass them out.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 8, recommendation to purchase materials to construct a walkway on Barnhart Circle to the tank enclosure. Ms. Hughes.
Right now, there is no connectivity between number 10 Barnhart Circle, which is the old library, and the Army tank display that's housed at 6 Barnhart Circle, where the 6th Cavalry Museum has been housed for a number of years. Because 10 Barnhart Circle is going to soon function as a welcome center for the city, and because the exhibits housed at 6 Barnhart Circle will be on display at the new Welcome Center, a connection between the two is necessary, especially to draw some people over to the tank. It's not as visible as it could be right now. If approved, the Public Works Department will prepare the ground and will solicit quotes from various vendors to have the materials to complete the project. It's expected that it'll take about 3 weeks to put that sidewalk in place once the contracted portion is scheduled, and this project will be completed by August 31st as well. And if approved, it's in the estimated amount of $10,000 coming out of the general fund. And the same note that Robbie just added to the first one about this is not only is this a vote to approve the item, it would also be a vote to make a permanent change to Barnhart Circle attaches here.
I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, sir.
Motion by Mr. Rogers, second by Ms. Stinnett. Any questions? Everyone understand the attachment, Ms. James?
ADA compliant.
Yes. And there will be a bollard placed in the middle so people can't just drive down it.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 9, recommendation to install flooring at 10 Barnhart Circle. Ms. Hughes.
You all just heard me talk about the Welcome Center that will be soon housed at 10 Barnhart Circle. It's going to house many exhibits from the old 6th Cavalry Museum, but in order for that space to accommodate the new functions that will be taking place in that building, some minor upgrades are needed and new flooring is necessary so that it will be suitable for exhibits and for Welcome Center purposes. The Public Utilities Department solicited quotes from vendors for a lot of different types of floorings, and Reynolds floor covering was found to be the most responsible quote at the lowest cost and the quickest implementation. The flooring has to go in before the exhibits do so. If approved, the flooring will be installed within 1 week of the issuance of the notice to proceed and will be completed by August 15th, and the estimated amount of $15,000 coming out of SPLOST.
And this is a change in Barnhart Circle also, so.
Yeah, so the same note will need to
Same
be
note.
attached to the minutes.
Lots of things inside.
I have a motion to approve.
Better to just do it.
Motion, sir.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Stinnett, second by Mr. Childs. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda is City Manager's Report. Ms. Hughes.
Thank you. So, quick note for this week, Stevenson Drive between Forest Road and Gilbert Drive is closed to through traffic until Friday, July 28th. Residents can still get to and from their homes. There's just a portion of the road that's closed due to a big old hole because our Public Works Department is repairing a drain tile. It's a pretty impressive hole for just one day on the job, so good job, you guys. The Stable 41 events this week, the Thursday Fresh Market from 3 to 6, the Food Truck Friday, it's our second to last Food Truck Friday. Those have been fun events. It's from 5 to 8 at Stable 41, and then our Sunday Market will be held on Sunday between 1 and 4. Want to remind everybody about Labor Day at the Post, September the 4th, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's going to be a day of fun and food and shopping and live music from James Rogers, Roger Allen Wade, Josh Driver, and Full Circle, and Confederate Railroad. So please come out. We would love to have you there, and we're very excited to have this event going again. So thanks to the mayor and council for letting us do it. We will be having, you heard me talk about some changes that are taking place on Barnhart Circle. I'm sure that's going to generate a lot of questions in the community, and we want to make sure that we are being as clear as possible about those changes. We're going to have a town hall sometime probably in the next couple of weeks out at Barnhart Circle, but you don't have to live there to come out. If you'd like to come out and hear us talk, please pay attention to our website and Facebook page, and we'll have a date for that, and you all can come out and ask any questions about what's going on in the city. National Night Out, I'm going to have Captain Stooksbury come up and talk to us about National Night Out because it's coming up. It's 1 week away right now. Come on, buddy.
I drew the short straw tonight. Mayor and council, members of the community, we would like to extend an invitation to come and join us for our second annual National Night Out, which is on August 1st, a Tuesday, from 5:30 to 8:30. This is an opportunity to come and meet the police department. So come out, enjoy a free night, invite your family, invite your friends. The pool's going to be open and it'll be free. We're going to have hot dogs and drinks and many, many vendors from our community. So come out and have some fun with us and take this opportunity to get to meet some of your police department.
Are you going to be in the dunk tank?
Ooh, did I forget the dunk
Yes.
tank?
Yep.
Slip up. So if you want to dunk the chief, come on out. Throw a ball at the thing. I may even get in there if it's hot enough. So don't miss that opportunity. We have a good time last year.
It'll be
so
hot enough.
We'd like to see you all.
Oh, wait, come back. All right, thank you very much. We're looking forward to National Night Out. So it was a great time last year. The police department did a wonderful job, and we're looking forward to it next year as well. And now, the last thing I have is one of the favorite things that we do. We like to recognize our new hires and do some long-serving employee recognition. So take it away, Captain.
I have the honor of introducing y'all our newest member of the police department, Ryan Ard. This man you can come out and meet at National Night Out as well.
In the dunk tank?
Yes, we may even put him in the dunk tank. Rookie, you know? Chief and newest rookie. Oldest, newest rookie. Ryan is well accomplished. He has a bachelor's degree. His accolades to the academy was he graduated top of his class academic and won the Academic Excellence Award. So I'm real proud of that. He is a licensed realtor in Tennessee and Georgia. And he and his family are glad to be here, and we're glad to have him and welcome him and his family into our family here at Fort Oglethorpe.
Great to have you.
Great.
Great. Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
All right, where did he go? Oh, he's trying to get out of it. So we've got three long-serving employee recognitions tonight, and our first one is an employee who has been with the city for 10 years, but he's been around a lot longer than that. I think everybody in town knows Brian Perry, and he's probably going to try to stay back there behind the camera the whole time and not act like we're talking about him.
Turn
If you
that
all could
camera
just turn around and stare at him so he gets uncomfortable, that'd be great.
Brian, do a selfie.
Brian, you are always there to help everybody. You are a huge asset to everybody in the city, to me, every single day. There's not a single day that goes by that you don't say, how can I help you? What can I do? And you have more information on everything than anyone I've ever met. You know everybody, you know everything, and it's a pleasure to work with you. So, thank you.
And he's a dog fan.
Congrats, Brian.
Coach, if you could come up for our next service award, please.
Okay, I'm Tony Ellis, the Recreation Leisure Services Director. This November, I'll be here just 2 years. So this guy that I want to bring up and talk about for just a minute we're going to recognize him for 20 years of service with the city of Fort Oglethorpe. In my opinion, when you stay anywhere nowadays that long, that says a lot about you, about your dedication and your service for your community. And one thing about this gentleman, when I came on board, he probably knew a lot more than I did about a lot of things in the city, but he never acted like it. He asked, what can I do to help you? And he's been that way from day one. He's always supportive of what we're trying to do at the rec department. A lot of things he does you don't really see. He does a lot of stuff behind the scenes. He coordinates all of our leagues and our tournaments, and probably a lot of other things I don't even know about yet. But he's just been a pleasure to work with. He's a hard worker. Is willing to get his hands dirty all the time. If you say, hey, we need to get this done, he's all right, we'll do it. You know, that's just kind of his attitude, and I really appreciate that. He's been with the city, like I said, for 20 years. He was in the water department and sewer department for a while. He's been with Fort Oglethorpe Recreation for 22 years. So he's always been helping the community, and I think he's always been about the young people of our community. And that's somebody that I really think a lot of, and that's Mr. Robert Keefe. So Robert, come on up. We didn't coordinate our shirts tonight, by the way, either. So.
Oh my gosh, you
Y'all look
matched.
good.
Yay!
Same hairdos, too.
Congrats, Robert.
Congratulations.
We have one more recognition tonight, also for 20 years, and as Tony said, it does say a lot about a person when they've been somewhere for 20 years. Johnny Robinson has been with the city of Fort Oglethorpe for 2 whole decades, and she's trying to walk out the back door. Why is come on, guys, don't be afraid. Johnny is she's full of integrity. She runs the court so well that sometimes we forget about it because it runs so well. It runs just beautifully back there. You are kind. You stay on top of everything, you check in, and you are the most self-aware, empathetic person I think I've met in so long. It's a pleasure to work with you, and I appreciate you so much, and I hope you're here for 20 more years.
Thank you. That was very good.
I just want to say that she keeps us straight in the court. She keeps the records perfect. She's handled security beyond reproach. She keeps us out of trouble. Stay. Johnny, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Oh, One more thing. We have a reception after to honor our, Johnny, come back here. Like, we have a reception afterwards to honor those recognized tonight. So please feel free to stick around. There's refreshments in the conference room. That's it for me.
Thank you, Ms. Hugh. Next item on the agenda is mayor and council comments. Welcome aboard, sir. Glad to have you here in the city. Johnny, Brian, Robert, congratulations. It's you know, it says something about a city when you've got people that hangs around here for 20 years. So, you know, we're doing something right, but we don't want to make light of the fact that we appreciate your service for those amount of years. So, congratulations. Thank you very much. Ms. Child.
Ditto. Congratulations, and it does. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 5 years, 10 years. There's a lot of job hunting people out there that don't last a year. So it speaks a lot for the leadership of our city, and I thank everybody for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Child. Mr. Crawford.
Yeah, just the same. Welcome to the team, and congratulations to Robert. Double congratulations. Over the weekend, he became a grandfather for the first time. Baby girl. And, so congratulations on that, and Johnny, and that tall guy back there in the corner. Congratulations, Brian. But hey, that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford. Mr. Rogers.
Yes, same. Officer Ard, very happy to have you. Thanks for coming on board with us. And then, you know, congrats to Brian, Robert, and Johnny. It's really awesome. You guys all make us look incredible as a city, and we're super thankful. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Ms. James.
I'll say the same. Congratulations to all. This city is blessed to have the people that we do. We appreciate all the employees. We thank you.
Thank you, Ms. James. Ms. Stinnett.
Yes, sir. Of course, I won't be as brief. So congratulations to everyone and welcome aboard. And let me talk about your Fort Oglethorpe Veteran and Citizen Council. We will be at America's Night Out supporting our police force as we were last year, volunteering, and also we'll be volunteering and working the LFO concession stands for the football games. We have some wonderful events coming up in October and November, and if you would like to be part of an organization that supports your military and all those who serve, please feel free to email, contact me, and we'll welcome you aboard too. Thank you, sir, and don't forget school's starting, and observe those speed limits. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stinnett. Next item on the agenda is adjournment. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Rogers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.